Hi everyone, my name is Elgin. I am the community manager for Mozilla Hubs, and this is the second video I have in my series of videos for IEEEVR. This one is geared more towards moderation tools. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about administrative accounts and what the difference is between regular and administrative accounts. And I'm also going to be talking about some common questions that might come up during your time helping out at Hubs events. Before I get started though, I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to volunteer for this event. It's going to make it so much easier to have volunteers on hand to answer questions and help people out and to facilitate conversation. So your role within the space is to make sure that people feel safe and comfortable, and it's going to make the conference all that much better. So thank you so much for your help. Huge clapping and, cheering for you. Yay! So I'm going to start off by talking about administrative accounts versus regular accounts. As a volunteer, I don't actually think that most of you are going to have administrative accounts, but I wanted you to see sort of what features they have, just so you're aware and have a better sense of kind of how Hubs works, like how Hubs works as a whole, because I bet that you're going to get a lot of questions about it. So first of all, one thing you can do is you can change a scene. So you can either click choose a scene and pick one of these out, or you can type /scene. And by the way, if you do / it'll show you all the different things you can do in Hubs with the chat box. So if you type /scene and then you copy and paste the URL for that scene, you will be able to make it so that it's a different environment. So right now we're in an art gallery, but we can be in any other one. This is probably something more that presenters are going to be doing, because I don't think you folks are going to be setting up the rooms at all. I just want to let you know that that's something you need an administrative account to do. This account here, this bot that I've got in front of me, is actually just me on a different computer. So I just wanted to be able to show you sort of what it looks like if someone's an administrator in the room. So you'll see that there's a star above their head. And again, you probably won't be an administrator, but I just wanted you to know where some of these features come from. If you go to room settings, it'll let you change the name of the room if you're an admin. Elgin's room. You can also change the permissions. So you can turn off objects, creating cameras, drawings, etc. And we're going to have, by default, most of these features turned off in most of the IEEEVR rooms. But if someone makes their own space using the Create Your Own Room on the landing page, they'll be able to toggle these on and off if they want. One thing that I know that you're going to get questions about is the room size capacity. So you can, as an administrator, change the size of a room. However, we do recommend that it never goes bigger than 25, because we find that about 25 is when things get a little bit slower, a little bit laggier for people on low-end devices, so like mobile phones, etc. So in order to make sure that everyone can join, we set the cap at about 25. Now, what happens if you're the 26th person who comes? So for anyone over the number 25, they can still come to the Hubs room, they can look around, they can see what's going on, and they can hear the conversation, but they can't actually join the room. So they get to watch from what's called the lobby. And I talked about that in the video that I had before on sort of basic Hubs controls. So you can still move around, you can still participate, you can send text chats, you just aren't an avatar and you don't have a voice. And because it takes up a lot less network bandwidth, you can have quite a few people more in the lobby than you can in the room. So that's helpful to know if you expect that one event is going to be particularly busy. So another thing that moderators can do that normal folks can't is you've got the ability to mute people. This is really handy in events because if people are on desktop computers and they do not have headphones on, it can sometimes create really bad echo. That's kind of one of the toughest things about running events in Hubs, is that if people don't have headphones connected or don't know to mute themselves, they might not even realize that they're creating this echo. So I like to, at the start of any event that I'm running, just remind people, don't forget to wear headphones, or if you don't have them, make sure that you're muted or unmuted. I also like to make sure that I teach people about how to access the menus on other people so they can turn down the volume on someone if they're causing problems. So to do that, you just press space or tab key, and then you can click the minus or plus. So even if you're not an admin in a room, if someone is being a little bit, I'm not even like annoying, but like if someone's got a lot of background noise or something like that, and you try to tell them to be quiet and they're not listening for some reason, you can just tell everyone else in the room to, like, if it's bugging you, just hover your avatar over this person and turn down their volume. If you do have an administrative account though, so for some of you who might, you will be able to actually like turn off the mic for them. The other option you'll see underneath of that is kick. Now I should warn you that there's kind of two stages to the kicking process. So we can kick someone out of the room, but if they're still whitelisted in the accounts, then they can just refresh the browser and come back. So there's going to be a team of people that are assigned to be on call for any code of conduct issues that may come up during the conference, to be able to come in and actually kick them and then remove them so that they can't just refresh the page or go to another room and start bugging people there. So that's one of your main roles as a volunteer, and something that's super important for this conference is to just keep your ears peeled, see if anyone's bugging other folks, if anyone's saying things that maybe are inappropriate, and just make sure that you let the volunteer team know. There should be information shared about who to reach out to in case there's any sort of problems with you. So another thing that you're going to be responsible for when you're in these spaces is you're going to be welcoming folks into the room, maybe helping a little bit with troubleshooting. So if someone comes in, I'll often, say hello to them. If I don't hear anything back, sometimes I'll just write to them because maybe their volume isn't working inside of their browser. So I'll say like, hi, how's it going, Surf Scooter? Now, of course, no one would actually realize that their name was Surf Scooter, but I might say something and it often prompts people to write back with like, oh, I'm trying to speak, but no one can hear me. And then you can remind them maybe that they might need to unmute because some people don't realize that they've entered the room and they're already muted. You can also, for troubleshooting, ask if did they select the right mic when they came in? Sometimes people will accidentally use a different mic that they're not actually intending to when they come in, and so that's why it's really quiet or we can't hear them. You can also ask them to change browsers if it's really not working, if there's something that's really bothering them. Hubs should work in most modern browsers, so Firefox, Chrome work great. Safari should work really well on Mac. If you're on a mobile device, Android, I think all of them, the main modern browsers should work great with hubs. If you're on an iPhone, Safari will work. The other two though, the other few browsers that I can think of might not work because there's certain privileges that are disabled on iPhone apps, so the ability to use the mic, for example, but there should be a prompt that tells them to use the Safari browser. If there are any issues though, or if they find that it's getting really laggy, particularly if they're on a mobile phone, they could try on their desktop computer or just try on a different browser because sometimes one of them works better than the other. Let's see, what else do I need to talk about? So that kind of covers everything from a moderation standpoint. If you are in a room where if people are allowed to create objects in a room, or maybe a presenter brings in something and then suddenly everything like freezes, it like comes to a halt, which does sometimes happen if things get really, really laggy, you can go up here to the object menu, and there's nothing actually here right now, but I'm going to try, let's do test. So I'm going to create a text object inside of the space. Most rooms, again, this is going to be disabled, but for some reasons, some rooms it'll be open. And if someone brings in like a really big 3D model, sometimes it just causes everyone's frame rate to go right down. So if this does happen, you can go to this list here and you can find the object and you can remove it from there. This shouldn't be something that you have to do, but I just wanted to let you know that that's something that if you do notice it getting really slow when someone imported something, that could be the reason why. Hopefully that won't have to happen. Yes, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that kind of covers it in terms of room moderation. If you are finding that the performance is just getting really laggy, you can let someone with administrative privileges know, or one of the organizers, and maybe someone can come in and maybe change the room size cap or something. It really depends a lot on the size of the models that are in there and the size of the presentation and people's connections. So we're still kind of figuring out what's going to work best. So a lot of the rooms are going to be default 25 people, but we might be able to adjust that if we're finding that there's problems with people coming in and it being a little bit slow. I am going to be having kind of drop-in training sessions throughout the course of the week. I encourage you to go to the IEEEVR site and try it out yourself and see what you can do. You can also try on hubs.mozilla.com. Oh, this is, let's see. Can I make this into a thing? I think that'll just, no. Oops. I think I might have typed that out wrong. But you can go to Hub's website, hubs.mozilla.com. Oh, I know what happened. Anyways, you can go and try it out. You can create a room, or you can go to the IEEEVR website, create a room, see if it works, see if you can do this stuff. If you have any questions at all or want to try it out with another individual in the room, you can drop by my office hours that I'm going to be having a few times throughout the week. The volunteer team will let you know when those are going to be, and I'm happy to answer any questions. So yes. Yay. Thank you.